Hi everyone, my name is Jess Robbins. I am a health and PE teacher at Springton Lake Middle School. I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade health and PE. Specifically, I teach 6th and 7th grade PE and 8th grade health. This is my presentation for 8th grade health. So if you're looking for 6th or 7th grade PE, it is in a separate link. So in a second, I'm gonna display my presentation. You'll hear my voice, but you won't necessarily see me. And then at the end, I'll pop back on just to say a few words before I log out. So give me 1 second to display my presentation, and I'll go through it. And then, of course, if you have any questions, you can always message me. So again, this is my presentation specifically for 8th grade health. If you're looking for 6th and 7th grade PE, it's in a separate link. So welcome to the 2021-2022 school year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it is a better school year than 2020. And I mean better in the respect that we actually are in school, because there's just something about being physically present in school. A little bit about me professionally. So I've been at Springton Lake for 11 years now. Time just flies. I teach 6th, 7th PE and 8th grade health. I've taught these subjects since I started here at Springton. Since I've been working here, I've always coached something. So I'm the 7th grade girls soccer coach. I also coached 7th and 8th grade girls softball for most of my time here, 8 or 9 years. And then there was a short time for about 4 years where I coached Pencrest varsity swimming. I do have my master's plus 60 additional credits, and I also have my administrative certificate, and I've helped out with administration here and there. I attended Penn State for both undergrad and grad. We are a huge Penn State household. If you have older children, you probably know that. It's like the one thing that people know about me. And I love being a health and PE teacher for a lot of reasons. In PE, I love being able to teach about fitness and how to live a healthy lifestyle. But I really, really, truly, intrinsically love teaching 8th grade health. I feel like the students are mature enough where I can actually get through to them, and I'm just teaching them so many important concepts that they need to be a productive member of society. So 8th grade health is actually probably my favorite subject. I love teaching middle school. I've taught all 3 levels. I've been at elementary, I've been at the high school, and by far middle school is my favorite. There's just something about middle school kids. Is it challenging? Yes, but I do love it. My favorite units to teach in health are mental health, which as an adult, we are very hyper aware of how important mental health is right now. The kids are hearing about it more and more in the news, so it's more prevalent now than it's ever been, which is really nice. And then I also love teaching them about stress and how to handle stress and what stress looks like to them. A little bit about me personally. I grew up in this area and I went to Lower Merion School District. I grew up in Bala-Cynwyd. I'm married to my husband, Wayne, and we have one son named Blake. He just turned 2. You can see his picture on the left-hand side. I am definitely obsessed with him. We also have a dog named Josie. Blake and Josie are best friends. It's super cute. Both my husband and I attended Penn State, and we have season football tickets. We go up to State College a lot. We love it up there. It's just our happy place. We love walking around campus. We love eating at all the different restaurants. It's a place we love to go. And I love to listen to music and be outside. I take my son, especially in the summer when I'm off, on hikes and walks and runs and parks, and I feel like we're just always outside. So a little bit about 8th grade health. My guideline sheet is on my Schoology page. I will either be seeing your child on days 1, 3, 5, or 2, 4, 6. So health is a quarterly class, which means I see them for 1 marking period. And again, I either see them on 1, 3, 5, or 2, 4, 6. Day 7 is a little bit strange in 8th grade. As a parent, you might be familiar, or guardian, you might be familiar with how day 7 works, but there's some times where I may be seeing your child on day 7. A lot of the topics that we talk about in 8th grade health can be considered sensitive topics. So I just ask, especially on the first day, that students have an open mind. I do feel that they learn a lot if they're paying attention. And I tell them that my number one concern is that they are kind to each other. Kids are more likely to ask questions that will benefit the whole class if they feel comfortable. And again, this is stressed to them hugely on the first day of class. Students will receive a grade during a lot of the classes. I am very quick about keeping my grade book up to date, so if something is due, you will see it on Hack. What we have done so far, so on the first day of class, we did some introductions. We talked about ourselves. I gave an introduction about myself. Then I went over the guideline sheet. Again, if you would like to see a copy of the guideline sheet, it can be found on my Schoology page. And then I had students fill out a first day question form. The first day question form asks them a few questions. It asks them what they think their best personal quality is. It asks them what their worst personal quality is. I feel that having students admit these things and sort of boost themselves up and actually focus on what they could do better is really helpful. It also asks them how comfortable they feel with technology, how comfortable they feel with Schoology, and it asks them like things that are important for me to know as their teacher. So if there's something that they need to be successful in class, I ask them what that thing is, because ultimately my goal is to make every student as successful as I possibly can. And being in the health classroom is just different than being in the gym. So a lot of them are used to having me for PE, but it's just a different ballgame when we come to health. So that's what we've done so far. Just a little bit of an overview so that you understand what angle I'm coming at. When we talk about our stress unit, especially right now, living in this pandemic, things are very stressful. I feel personally that a lot of kids are very much affected by COVID and they don't know how to handle it. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. So in the unit, we'll identify our stressors. We will recognize what stress looks like and feels like. So that's different for every kid. Obviously, as adults, we know this, but I'm not sure that students actually fully know that. And then understanding and recognizing when our body is trying to cope with stress. So that fight or flight response, what it means to cope, what it looks like to cope, and how everybody copes differently. Understanding symptoms of stress and how to practice mindfulness and being mindful of what you're actually doing in your day-to-day life. There's so many students who are like, wow, I'm doing this over and over and it's actually causing me stress and I never actually realized it. So a lot of the unit will be in, a lot of the marking period we will spend talking about stress. Some other important units that we're going to discuss this marking period are mental health and bullying. So mental health, what it means to have strong mental health, what kinds of mental illnesses people are struggling with, how to help those with struggling with mental health illnesses or mental health in general. I'll provide resources to them and strategies of ways to be empathetic, and how to change our mindset of mental health, sharing mental health is bad, because that stereotype just drives me nuts. So we have no problem going to the doctor when we're physically sick, but we struggle and are embarrassed when we feel mentally sick and we feel like we can't share that. So I'll tell the kids this. And then one of the other units I go through is communication. So how to effectively communicate with other people, what your body language should look like, how you should portray yourselves. One of the things I talk about with them is how to go on a job interview. So in a lot of circumstances, 8th graders are going on job interviews for the first time because they want some extra money and they have absolutely no idea what to expect. So that's like my personal touch that I added. And a lot of students have given me feedback that it's been very helpful. So these are just some units and some things that I specifically talk about. Just some other things to know. So as I said before, I want your child to be the most successful that they possibly can. If there is anything that they need from me in class, please ask them to advocate for themselves. It's so important that starting in 8th grade, even younger, but especially in 8th grade, that these students start to advocate for themselves. If they need something, approaching a teacher and telling that teacher what they need or what's going to make them more successful. And again, everything I'm stressing to you in this presentation, I also stress to them. I'm here to support your child. I want them to be successful. I want them to enjoy health. So many kids come to health because health has a negative connotation, and they are like, oh, I don't want to leave. I'm really enjoying this. So I work really hard to make the class as fun as possible, being that it's somewhat sensitive material. And then, of course, if you ever have any questions or concerns, you can always email me or call me to discuss. So that is my 8th grade health presentation. Again, we go into so much more than what I put in this presentation, but I found that this presentation is a good summary of some of the bigger things that we do. If you ever have any feedback about things you want me to include or not include, or if your family has been through something and you feel like it's important for me to know, please message me, because I love hearing from you guys and getting that feedback. So thank you again for listening to this. I know I've said this a lot, but if you ever have any questions, let me know. And if I taught your older siblings or your older children, tell them I said hi. Thank you.